Happy Monday, humans. How are you doing today? Today, I brought some special surprises with me. I brought a paper airplane. I brought a coffee mug. And I brought my guitar. I guess the guitar's not really a surprise. But the surprise is all three of those things have something in common. What in the world do you think a paper airplane, a coffee mug, and this guitar could have in common? Well, I'll tell you. All three of these things are connected to very positive memories I have. But they are also connected to sad memories. And today, I'd like us to see if we can work with our feelings when there's more than one. Let me tell you about these three objects. I'm going to start with this paper airplane. This paper airplane isn't any ordinary paper airplane. If you've been in my class, you will know that this is my absolute favorite paper airplane. And I learned how to make it when I was in kindergarten. My dad taught me how to make it. We had a book of 100 paper airplane designs. And of all 100, this was my favorite. It has all these interesting folds on it. And the folds I like the most are these two flaps right here. When you throw this paper airplane, the wind hits these flaps and pushes the nose up. But the nose is really heavy because it has all of these extra flaps on it, extra folds of paper. So once it goes up, the weight of the nose pulls it back down, and this paper airplane will do a loop-de-loop. Or if you throw it sideways, it'll turn sideways. Or if you throw it just right, it'll go up and float right back down. And so after I learned to make this paper airplane, I went outside to my driveway. We lived on a street where there were not many cars, so it was safe to play in the driveway. But we also had my best friend staying with us at the time. And at the time, my best friend's name was Buddy. And Buddy was an Australian Shepherd. That's right, she was a dog. And because she was an Australian Shepherd, well, she had been bred to take care of sheep by running around them to keep them safe. And she was outside with us. And as soon as I threw this paper airplane, I chased after it. And because it went up, I didn't look where I was going. I only looked up at the paper airplane. When Buddy, the Australian Shepherd, saw me running after the airplane, she was worried that I was going to run into the street. And she thought it was her job to keep me safe. So she ran around me and right in front of me, and she stopped right in front of me. But because I was looking at my paper airplane, I didn't see her. And I tripped over her. And I fell. And I landed right here on my chin. And if you look closely on my chin, you can see that right here, no hair grows. I have all of this hair that grows out of my face. But right here, to this day, 35 years later, no hair grows right there. Because I fell on my chin and it cut open and I had to go to the hospital and get stitches. And that was the first time I had to get stitches. I was so scared and I was so worried. But I had just had so much fun building a paper airplane and flying it. And I had just had so much fun playing with my best friend, Buddy. So this paper airplane is connected to some very positive memories and some kind of scary memories. Now, what does that have to do with this mug? Well, this mug is not any ordinary mug. You see, when you fill this mug with something hot like coffee, this person right here changes what they're wearing. This person changes from a blue blazer is a type of jacket, into a yellow cardigan. A cardigan is a type of sweater. And every morning, I fill this cup with hot coffee. And every morning I watch as this person right here puts on his yellow cardigan sweater. And I love that memory because this person right here, as many of you can already tell, is Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers was someone I loved to watch. I loved to watch him when he put his sweater on because I knew that meant he was going to show us something really interesting and take us to the land of make-believe. And I knew that when he put his blue blazer back on, the show was going to be over and it was going to be time for me to do something else. But also you can see on this cup, there are some markings on the bottom here. And that's because I wasn't very careful when I washed this cup. And if you wash it too vigorously, you can actually wash away the paint. And so this cup is connected to some very happy memories of my childhood watching Mr. Rogers. But I'm also kind of sad when I see it because I remember I wasn't as careful as I needed to be. I'm also kind of sad because I remember Mr. Rogers isn't alive anymore and I miss him. Even though I only knew him through television, he's still somebody that I miss. So this cup is connected to very, very happy memories and also to some memories that are kind of sad. Last but not least, I have this guitar. This guitar is connected to some very happy memories. Many of the songs that I play, I figured out how to play them and how to write them on this guitar. And this guitar was a guitar that I had wanted for a very long time. I had to save up money so that I could get this specific kind of guitar. But it's also connected to a memory that I'm not very proud of. I had been asked to play some music for some students. And I had to play kind of far away. And it was winter, and it was late at night, and I had played for a very long time. And I came home, and I was so tired that when I parked my car, I forgot that this guitar was in the case, in the trunk. And I went inside and I went to bed. And I woke up very early in the morning, and my eyes went like this. And I had this thought, oh no, I left my guitar in the car. It happened to be the coldest night of the year. It was during something called a polar vortex. It was so cold that it was colder here than it was at the North Pole at that time. And when I went out and got my guitar and brought it in, it had these cracks in it. And these cracks can be fixed, but it's going to take a lot of work. And I'm going to have to pay someone who knows a lot about guitars to fix those cracks. So for now, every time I play this guitar, I think of the happy memory I have of getting this guitar, of writing songs on this guitar. But I also think of the sad memories I have of leaving this guitar in the cold and not treating it with all the care that it needed. It's kind of interesting, but that's how memories are. That's how feelings are. That's how relationships are. We're filled with happiness and sadness, with excitement and worry. Sometimes we're filled with those things at the same time. It can be confusing. Sometimes we can think that's not how it's supposed to be. The good news is it's completely normal to feel more than one way at the same time. I learned that because of Mr. Rogers, because of his show. I knew that it was okay to be sad and happy. I knew that it was okay to be excited and worried. He was one adult that I knew cared about me. And he even told me that for children, to grow up and know how awesome they truly are, all they need is one loving adult to show them that. And so to remind myself that, to remind my own children of that fact, to remind my students that I work with of that fact, I wrote this song. I'm going to sing it for you. And then I thought we could try a mindfulness activity that I like to do when I'm worried or anxious or excited and I would like to calm down. Just a reminder, you don't have to practice mindfulness. You don't even have to listen to this song. But if you want to, that's what we're going to do now. When you wake up, make your bed, brush your teeth and hair, wash your face and underarms and change your underwear. When you wake up, make your bed, brush your teeth and hair. That's a simple way to say just how much you care. Well, you're worth taking care of. Please believe it's true. You're worth taking care of, so I'm taking care of you. You're worth taking care of each and every day. You're worth taking care of, that's the reason you will hear me say, when you wake up, make your bed, brush your teeth and hair. That's a simple way to say just how much you care. That's the truth. You are worth taking care of. And each of us have had somebody in our life who's cared for us. It's just how humans work. There's not a single human on the planet who could survive all on their own. We need each other. At least one adult we need to care for us. The good news is that as we get older, we can learn how to be that adult who cares for us. That's right. I still need to be cared for. But now I've learned that I can be the person who cares for me. And anybody, any age, can learn how to do that. So one thing I need to do when I'm feeling anxious or worried, scared or excited, wiggly, jiggly, and I need to calm down, I try this mindfulness exercise. All you need to do for this mindfulness exercise is find a place to sit or lie down and be willing to use your imagination. If you're not feeling like sitting or lying down or using your imagination, if you're not feeling like doing mindfulness, then feel free to do anything else right now. Remember, mindfulness only works if you want to do it. And if you do want to do it, try checking in with yourself and finding a comfortable position. If you're lying down, you could even close your eyes. If you're sitting in a chair, try sitting towards the edge of your seat with your feet firmly planted on the floor. And checking in with your shoulders and your neck. Give them a bit of a stretch. And then checking in with your eyes, allowing them to drift down towards the floor, or even allowing them to close if you're comfortable. Notice your breath as you breathe in and out. Breathing in, relaxation. And breathing out, all of that tension. Breathing in, peace. And breathing out anything you might be worried about. Breathing in and breathing out. As your breathing returns to normal, imagine that you are resting next to a perfectly still pond with crystal crystal clear water. The water is reflecting everything around you. It's reflecting the sky, the sun, the plants. It's even reflecting you. You notice that it is completely still. Noticing that stillness, you pick up a small pebble, feeling that pebble in your hand. You throw the pebble towards the middle of the pond. You hear it as it plops into the water. Noticing the ripples as they radiate from the center of the pond. The image of your reflection starts to wiggle. You throw another pebble, noticing as the ripples get bigger and bigger. As your mind wanders to thoughts or feelings or noises that you're hearing, imagine that you're bringing your attention back to the pond by throwing a pebble into the center. Each thought, each sound, each feeling, like a stone, we throw it back into the pond. Setting down the pebbles that are in your hand and noticing the water. Watch as the ripples begin to slow and stop. And the water returns to stillness, reflecting the sky, your surroundings, and even yourself. Checking in with yourself. Try taking 3 more deep breaths, breathing in the stillness of that pond, and breathing out a clear reflection. Stillness. Reflection. And opening your eyes when you're ready if they were closed. How was that? That was an exercise I first learned about from a book called Planting Seeds by a man named Thich Nhat Hanh. He was a good friend of Martin Luther King Jr. And Martin Luther King Jr. said, if everyone on the planet would read his books, the world would be a more peaceful place. Just like that pond, if we would just stop throwing the stones long enough, the surface of the pond becomes a more peaceful place. I also learned about that exercise from a mindfulness kit called Mindful Kids. There's lots of great ways to learn about and practice mindfulness. This video's just one. Books are another, cards are another. You can even sign up for mindful classes. That's what I did. I signed up for a class with one of my good friends named Stephanie, who started a school of mindfulness called Awaken Pittsburgh. All of these things, all of these practices are simply tools to help us navigate what it means to be human. It can be confusing, it can be scary, it can be exciting, it can be really fun. But the most important thing to remember is that you, exactly the way you are right now, look here, I'm gonna put these on so I can see you good. Exactly the way you're feeling you, my friend, are completely awesome. Don't forget. Bye for now.